We're still here in the round of 8. Valorant fans, we're headed to a map 3. Luminosity Gaming, West. They almost let it slip away. Knights almost got one up on them. Now we head to what kind of feels like a little bit of the unknown. Luminosity, they choose Bind, that being map 3. But before we get there, we got to talk about what happened on map 2. That icebox, I mean, that was down to the wire.
It was down to the wire, and yeah, it's a little bit of a reverse, right? Luminosity Gaming coming into this map, they're the ones who looked like they needed a reset, to get some steam back, and Knights proved it in the beginning of the map, but it was the momentum that has gone back and forth in this map after that slugfest at the beginning of Ascent. That momentum has shifted very, very clearly, very, very audibly, and so you can see that they're Knights are just not quite able to put the same amount of variety into this attack. We saw them doing it at the beginning of their attack half, but they weren't able to keep it going. They weren't able to be relentless. And with LG kind of picking it up, with Moose just popping the heck off with, so much good stuff coming in from LG and them regrouping really well, using that timeout so well, Knights just weren't able to keep up the pressure. And that's scary on Bind. I just have to say it. LG coming into Bind, a map where you can definitely use momentum really, really well. And I just don't think Knights, I'm not sure they're going to be able to get it back. They are going to really have to dig deep here.
Yeah, and so we actually get a peek at basically this looked like a TIG highlight reel. This is one of our first looks at Chamber being on this icebox. And I kind of made a point that Chamber's utility, I guess the Sentinel utility didn't really feel like it was doing a whole lot. TIG was kind of just fragging out, and I know that you had a point to make on that.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the lineups, right, there isn't much to do for another Sentinel or even a Smoker you don't often see. Viper has it all locked up, right? Viper's got everything. Viper can cover so much. That's why she is an auto pick on Icebox, is because you want to put an Astra on there, you got to pick all these different little spots. It's a big map, but there's all these little choke points. No, instead you want more firepower, dude. You just want to get more rounds on the board, get more of an advantage in the gun play and in the weaponry. And so with Chamber, you put a fragger on that, you pick up, that headhunter, you pick up the tour de force, you get those teleports, you use it basically like a duelist or an initiator, or a second duelist or an initiator. There we go. And you can just completely rely on the Viper to do fulfill all your utility needs, and then maybe your Sentinel as well. So Chamber makes a lot of sense for Icebox, and I like what Chamber was bringing to the table, because like I said, Icebox, a little bit solved, maybe a little bit pedestrian in the way people continue to play it. It's one of those things that can shake it up, with someone, with like the new agent as well coming in. That is the type of thing, a new agent can change the map so well. Think about how much Viper with the buff changed the way we play Icebox. Chamber might be on his way to doing the same thing. Yeah,
and so I think kind of also what goes hand in hand is TIG was the player. It was Astra in the previous map was that player to really hunker down inside the nebulous smoke and just tank the lockdown. And we saw it on Icebox's where TIG was also that same player, but could then get out of dodge, was able to hang out until the last second to try and squeak out a kill inside the opposition's lockdown, and then use that rendezvous to get away. So it worked really well as a pseudo counter, if not a complete counter, to what Killjoy does bring to the table for the most part. But here we go. It's Bind, picks, bans. I guess not really picks, bans, just agents select. We're just picking. We're scrapping the banning because we're not there yet. We're all locked in. It's map 3. Both of these teams have so much to prove here on Bind.
I was about to say I really want to see a Raze come out, and we have Ziff locking it in, as well as the Sky coming out for both sides. You want that initiation. These sites are hard to break. It's really, really, hard to play attack on this map in certain situations. You need those flashes to come in, and both teams picking up the Sky here. And yeah, it is, like you say, going to be Knights starting on the defending side. So they are going to have to, like we said, regroup, find that momentum back, find what they need in order to get the fire they were having on Ascent, to get the fire they were having at the beginning of Icebox here, and, melt the hearts of Luminosity Gaming a little bit, because from what we saw at the end of that last map, they do not have it going right now.
Yeah, and so now to kind of backpedal or maybe backtrack or on the, I might just double down on it. LG is the team that's supposed to win here. with new players or not, they are the team that's supposed to win. At the end of the day, winning this tournament, I don't think really puts them in a fantastic spot. Maybe it does. I guess the points for the team might put them somewhere in that top 8 position to be qualified for Winter Champs. But at the end of the day, I think this right here, you really just count as repetitions. Now, if Knights win, we're not discounting that to say, oh, well, LG were just looking for reps. I do still think that LG is the favorite, but I don't think that if you are an LG fan and you're seeing LG lose to Knights in Winter Champs, that you should be right and, too much home about that one. As this round starting off early, the teleporter's already in full effect. And look at the kill feed. Scuba, the last one standing here, and he's forgot his breathing apparatus as Dazzle puts a knife right through it. And LG, they start strong here in map 3.
So I'm supposed to analyze that round, am I?
Yeah.
Just everybody, flooding in there. And we're talking about that. I will go back to LG, by the way, because if they do get those 4,000 points that they would get from winning this tournament, they are near the top 8. They don't quite get there. Need another couple of points in another tournament to actually crack that top 8. But like we said, LG looking for something to prove. I like the idea of just getting reps, just submit for lots of tournaments with a new roster, get your mojo going. But also, they should, on paper, be able to do some serious damage to any of these teams, if not outright win against everybody. And they are definitely challenging for the top 8 if they do win the tournament. So keep an eye on this, because they might not be looking for just reps. They might be looking for some placements. We do see them get into A real quick, and LG completely controlling this site now on that force buy, or on that SMG buy here. It's going to be 1-1 on the round, unless Ban can, do Ban things.
Yeah, we have seen Ban do Ban things. Unfortunately, I think he might need a bit more time to do that. At the end of the day, it'd be nice to do some damage. Unfortunately, not able to, so LG, they get it done in the anti-eco, and the best way that you would have hoped for a flawless round. And Moose was just on the Ghost. I'm wondering what he's looking to bring into this bonus round. Maybe just trying to have a bit of extra firepower into the bonus. I thought when I spotted that it was B-Dog, and maybe they were looking for a round 3 operator on the attacking side, but it doesn't seem like that's the case.
Yeah, they could. Oh, wait. No, they couldn't. They were 50 credits away. So they aren't going to be able to do that. But, yeah, Moose just sticking on the Ghost here, making some money. I would imagine Op comes out next round. B-Dog didn't have a great icebox, has to be said. Was very, very quiet in that particular map, but team had his back.
Fortunately, nobody had Tig's back.
What are you doing?
He's out there all by his lonesome, and that's the problem. Because that's also the spike. Has Moose been AFK? Why does he still only have the Ghost?
I think it is just him trying to save. Like, they are just expecting to lose the bonus. But it was very, very weird for Tig to do that with the spike. Not expecting the push from Ziff at all, who nails Mata as well. Look at this firing line coming in here towards spawn. This is not your dad's bind.
No, yeah, this is it's a scary place to be for LG. Is they're just hoping to clear out some. I mean, the spike could not be down in a more a terrible spot. It's just right around the corner, just out of reach. Nobody's getting that. Dazzle is able to find the kill, so a bit of damage. It definitely helps, but they should be able to get that gun back online going into the next round. Although it was just the bonus round, it's a pretty clean one for the Knights to steal that away from LG. Now they come online, and I mean, it's just Moose saying, I'm hanging on to this Ghost. I'm going to try and bolster our economy. They don't even opt into the operator here in this next round, so I guess it's, at the end of the day, you could buy for somebody when you need to. I don't know, that feels super strange not to invest a little bit into that bonus.
Yeah, they dropped the eco, and you can see that they are sort of able to scrape together a buy next round as well. You know, at least something if they get a frag or two. But it is that was a little odd. The entire thing was just a little odd. I think we can move on. I don't want to talk about it anymore, Tanner.
Let's get past it. This series has been an interesting one, to say the least. So at this point, they're not even really oddities. Toxic screen cuts Hookah in half. It also blocks off An angle out towards long. Trailblazer through hookah. We'll get things cleared out, then B-Dog has secured positioning here. Can they get much further?
You gotta drop that spike, bro. Just jump peeking by himself with the spike again. Luckily not punished this time. And they are getting some good info here, actually. Getting all the way into hookah. Getting up into short for Moose. This is a little better from LG as they are deciding where to go, and they've sort of determined that B is probably the easier site to break right now. So once again, Viper doing so much. Getting past Scuba is going to be the trick here.
And you're kind of run out of time. Sure, you can make that teleporter play, but you're going to want about
30 seconds left.
15 seconds to be able to get from that teleporter out towards that A site and to do it comfortably. Nice grab. Well, Snakebite finds vulnerability, but it doesn't matter. Scuba taken down, and nobody was there to answer back. Gangsta will also fall. Goes 1-for-1 on the site. That puts LG one player ahead as B-Dog up to a pretty good start here in round 4. LG finally get that full buy in their hand, and they look to do so much damage with it. Spike is planted. Showstopper around the corner. The Showstopper goes off, but it completely misses. And it's a near flawless for LG's third.
The show must go on. LG don't drop a single player there, even to the Showstoppers. So, Ziff, even though he is the top of his team, doesn't manage to really get anything done there. Just a nice hit. Good job to, you know, for actually B-Dog to get in very, very deep to the site. Continue to make space, you know. Like Sova says, not a good shot today. There are other ways to be useful. And I'll work on that impression, but that is exactly what B-Dog's doing, even though he's getting the kills as well. Just making space for his team, getting in and getting info, getting some chaos going into that site, and LG take the round for it.
Crispy headshot to get this one started for Moose, and well, if you wanted alt orbs, you've got them. You got a couple there. You get that one in showers. You also get one in Way of Death. Gangsta just around the corner from... And that's what I'm going to start calling it from now on, is whenever I die in my games, I got an alt orb. Got mine, team, in Way of alt orb. I'm stacking my Hunter Shuri or something of the sort.
That's what Tig was saying when he pushed up with the spike. Okay, guys, got the alt orb over at B-Long. I think it's still there. Nope, got one. I got one.
Yep. Yeah, it's still Cosmic Divide just around the corner. Don't worry about it, guys. We're going to be there. Meanwhile, it's the Seekers coming around the corner, and Frosty can't land the shots with the Judge. Looking to do a little bit of damage. Unfortunately, it didn't really find its way on through. They had the setup for it, but it's completely broken by LG, and maybe that economy in a rough spot as well. No Knights looking to bolster up something huge in this round. That's something huge being the operator in the hands of Ziff.
The Seekers, the bane of your existence if you're playing a Judge around the corner, and that's exactly what happened there. So, like you say, LG coming forward again. Now it's Ziff to pick up the op on the Raze. So where do you position the op here? Looks like it is kind of headed towards long right now, and that could find some value here as two players are in the area. Ziff go already crossing, and they're playing two over here.
Nowhere to run.
Ziff gets spotted.
Oh, and the Hunter Shuri, no way. I mean, the teleporter saves him.
Yeah, here's
But
Tig.
Dazzle's been perfect, and yeah, Tig is here waiting for this operator to come through the doors as Moose picks up Scuba, lurking up towards the A site. It is now completely open. It does look like Frosty's going to try and slow things down for a second. Now, this is not an unfamiliar position, but it's not something that we usually see Frosty thrive on, that being the Astra versus the Killjoy. You can still play it like the what am I thinking of? The Sentinel, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be going their way. They push through. The Cosmic Divide, it cuts off all noise, but when you go aggressive on the other side, unfortunately you have to meet that defense eventually, and LG look to take the fight right to him. Now it's up for Knights to take the fight the back way. And it's Mana to pick up, too, as they push through. Gangsta's been clutch, but position revealed. Two players to worry about on a spike to defuse. This is a difficult spot to be in.
Yeah,
Looks to
that's
creep
a
out
missed
towards
arrow, too.
bench. Oh, my God. B-Dog goes down. This could be it. Tig, the last bastion of hope. Clock is ticking. Gangsta ready for the angle. picks up the third and picks up Knight's second, and again, Gangsta goes clutch.
My dude is just strolling into the site. Just absolutely strolling. He is not a care in the world. Amazing from Gangsta. Just click this head, click that head. You know, miss your vision arrow. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to walk in. Like, unreal here. This is a good position by Tig, of course, and Amada had this crazy play. It fully flashed, it looked like, in the site. But yeah, Gangsta, look at him. He's just walking in.
Hey, you can't teach that. You cannot teach clutch. And fortunately, it's already built in. It's in his genes. Gangsta's already got that one under control. Meanwhile, A Short under control. We're going to toss out that Viper's pit. So should you want to go this way if you're LG, you have to push through that pit. And I mean, they're doing just that. They're still playing this as if there's no pit on the site. The toxic screen is up. Moose slowly decaying away. Scuba sneaks out, tries to sneak back in, and Moose is ready. He pounces. And we'll find the frag. And this round was looking strong for the defense, only for a moment. Not before LG pushed their way through to the site to pick up a couple of kills. Oh, Ban tried to pre-fire, but B-Dog was ready for it. The knives will cut down the sky. Knights on the back foot once more, only 2 remain.
They're going in. Oh!
No way. Not Gangsta. Not
Please,
Gangsta.
no.
Taking it? He's taking it? Okay, maybe not the best call there, but he tried to make a play through that snake bite. It wasn't enough. Now Frosty, the last one standing. See if he can fill those Gangsta shoes. Nice guiding light on the opposite side.
Perfect.
Not only keeps Frosty at bay, but yeah, buying time, keeping Frosty in that position. And then on top of it all, he's completely blind. Can't push through, and once he does, Mata takes him down. A nice 3K for the Sky with the Seekers online. It's LG picking up their 5th and really starting to get that momentum going once more.
You know, I like it from Gangsta. It didn't pay off, and maybe it was the wrong decision, but that is the Gangsta you want in the server. The one who will stand in the molly, Tanner. The one who will go for that extra play, that extra kill. Even if it's a mistake every couple of rounds, that's still the guy you want on your team, because that is the type of thing that lets him just walk into the site and get the 4K. That's the type of thing that lets him get the element of surprise, and, you know, that keeps his confidence going. He goes too far forward, he laughs it off if he dies. If he's playing too far back and he dies, that's another story. That is what really breaks you. So, yeah, that's the guy I want in the server, even if he loses a couple times. Knights are on a save this round.
And nice damage, though. Good headshot onto one. This round, you're really just trying to strip away some of those weapons. You see the economy's not great for some of the players. Fortunately, it's good for Mata. So at the end of the day, he should be able to buy somebody into the next round, and it just continues to grow as he finds those kills. The Sky can't heal herself, but can heal the teammates. Scuba just outside the gravity well. Maybe a thorn in the side. Doesn't seem like it's going to get too much done inside the shower position.
No.
Meanwhile, Gangsta, nope. Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Yep.
Nobody saw that. Let's not forget what Gangsta did a couple of rounds ago. This round was always LG's round.
Man, Tanner, that was a really great clutch by Gangsta. I'm just going to say, yeah, Gangsta did a great job. Gangsta hasn't missed a single shot this game, man.
How could you forget it? Yeah.
Yeah. You can't forget the clutch. It's all about the clutch. All right, timeout coming in.
Yeah.
LG are going to get some respite. They have been pretty relentless here, but it's Knights who need to do the regrouping, and we predicted that Knights would have trouble getting that momentum back. A timeout this is a good use of a timeout, but it's not, you know, it's not magic. It's just useful. So Knights need to be discussing some strategy in this timeout, but really what they need to be doing is just getting their heads back in the game. As simple as that sounds, it really is what it comes down to in a series like this. You know, 2 really tough maps already where you had to expend a lot of energy. Now you need to just find that second wind here.
And this is coming at a good time, too, because they're going to have that full buy coming into this next round where we kind of see, I guess, 2 thoughts behind it. Some teams will call that timeout on an eco and then maybe put something together for the save round, or use that save round, then, again, try and feel out in this situation the attack and use it as an extended timeout. This time it's coming right behind a full buy. So you can expect a lot from Knights coming into this round, and see how aggressive they get out towards B-Long, or if to get aggressive out towards B-Long because it's worked previously. One of 2 round wins. They were able to find an early kill onto Tig, who dropped to the spike. And although not in hand, but the spike is still in the area. But there's 3 players this time around from LG pushing this way.
That smoke kind of just to stop the peak, and Gangsta is gonna get... Oh no!
Estimated.
He gets destroyed by those shots. Doesn't actually die, but yeah, Gangsta is basically out of the round.
And that's tough. I expect Gangsta to be able to do a lot. It's really hard when you're sitting on just about 1 HP. So we'll have to see if that Sova can actually get anything done. Meanwhile, across the map, kill was picked up the way of LG. And should they get onto this site, I mean, I don't want to say they have free passage, but they've got pretty tools to get there. They have the Seekers online to figure out, you know, where these defenders are playing. Once they get on that site, they also have that Viper's Pit available to them. This would be a pretty good round to kind of step on Knights. There's the Seeker, spots out Frosty. The blind is there as well, but he's still able to find the kill. Meanwhile, across the map, this is where the spike is headed, but this is where Ban is holding it down. The stalwart defense from the sky, trying to find that Sky stuck inside the utility. As the the Viper's Pit, excuse me, comes down. It's an interesting one, but it still covers the spike, and it makes it so hard to push onto the side, especially from this defender side at spawn.
Yeah, exactly. That cuts stuff exactly where you want to go if you come out of spawn, so they're all going to heaven.
And Dazzle was in the drone, but the pre-fire kicked him out immediately. Fortunately, still able to find a kill as Scuba hops onto the site. He's going to be taken down. Poison Cloud goes up as well for some extra DK, for some extra cover onto the spike. 3v3, this just seems so undoable. Gangsta, though, still alive. Still dropping bodies. Now looking for some more, but the clock just continues to tick. You have to try and contain. You have to try and steal away some of these weapons, and they're not going to be able to do it. It's LG to find another.
You know, yes, a great post plant, but Moose had such a great pick early on as the presence and the attention was drawn over towards B. It was Moose pushing all the way up A short to find that first kill on a defender who kind of got anxious and went towards showers. That was such a huge decision to open up the round, and that's why LG rotated. Ban does a great job to get the opening pick on the A rotators, on the attackers who are coming in. But it's just not enough. Ban gets, blocked off after that, and LG with the Viper's Pit managed to secure. I love the idea to block off U-Haul with the Viper's Pit. That's so good. You can see this spike is going down. That is so awesome. I was wondering why that was going down before, and it's to hide from the arrow so you can peek. Really cool play on B.
Yeah, heads up. It did seem a little interesting in that last round. It didn't really come to fruition. It does in this round, and it's not really around that Knights, I feel like, want to be peeking and pushing that unless you're doing it strength and numbers, because it's another eco. I think we see a Spectre in the hands of Scuba, Sheriff's kind of across the rest of the board for the rest of the squad. And I guess I eat my words a little bit because one kill was picked up. I believe it was Ban to find that one with the Sheriff in hand. And with that, they've rotated over towards this B site, only leaving Frosty all there on his lonesome. I thought maybe had a shotgun, but it looks like just the Sheriff and has a lot to get done. They have to clear this angle. This would be a big one to let slip away. The trigger discipline. Around the corner comes Moose, but Frosty, he's ready for it. He finds the kill. Mata's there to trade it back. It's LG still in the driver's seat, but it's Knights looking to make it hurt to the best of their ability. Oh, no.
Sif with the showstopper, too. Nope.
Hunter's Fury. I mean, Dazzle has been so good with those. It doesn't necessarily find anything, but it kicks Ban out of the Trailblazer. He gets no information, and, well, Knights, they won't get the round. It's LG now to 8. This is a map. Meanwhile, we didn't have a whole lot of information. We weren't expecting. They haven't played this with this iteration of the team. And, well, guess what? You brought Mata and B-Dog on, and they look pretty damn good on it. They actually look like the best two on the team on it.
Yeah. And honestly, that's a great sign to see the duelists come back because, yeah, both Mata and B-Dog had very slow games over on Icebox. They still managed to take it with Moose popping off, with Tig popping off, but it's just great to see the duelists come together here. And, yeah, LG getting the reps in, trying to get their feet under them a little bit, and this type of series is such a valuable thing for them to do, even if it's not, the goal isn't to get points, because, yeah, you need to go up against some stiff competition. You need to be surprised a little bit so you can learn to deal with it. And LG are already adapting so well.
Oof, uh-oh. Now you got to try to adapt to this. And, well, they do so perfectly. Ziff pops the showstopper, and it's a miniature lockdown. It forces everybody away, sure, but it definitely doesn't have that same effect as the rocket and an actual lockdown. So a tough one at that. Kind of a whiff on the ult, and a round that is pretty important here to the Knights, as they'll be reset once more. Frosty, aggressive on this angle. Waiting for somebody to push up. Kind of playing the off angle, but the shoulder is spotted. They're taken down. The A site just being completely opened up. Ban finds one, but that's not enough. The only two remaining for the Knights are across the map, and I don't even know if this is a doable situation for him. Gangsta is still alive, and it does always seem doable when Gangsta is alive, but maybe you want to hold on to these weapons.
Nimata doesn't even want to let him do that. Look at this push. Oh, not expecting the aggressive, and this would be a terrible way to let them back in.
Not like this, Wes. Not like this.
I don't believe. They got it. They got it, Tanner. Everybody chill, okay? Everything's fine for LG. They just need to not die to this peak.
Yeah. Take it inside, getting sprayed down, a tap onto the spike. He pushes out, finds one, and unfortunately Scuba just has too much to worry about. Has no time as well. It looked doable for a second. You slap 10 more seconds on the clock, and maybe tonight's round, but it goes the other way. And a 10-2 half is on the table here for LG.
LG are reading them like a book right now. You mentioned the showstopper. They saw that. They saw the word ready when they pressed tab. They were out of showers so fast. They demonstrated that there were at least two players with multiple different types of utility. They send those out. They hear the showstopper. They back the heck off. They are reading. It's like they knew Ziff was right there. They knew to back off right away, and Ziff could get nothing. He can't run into showers just by himself. So LG look dominant here. There's no other way to put it. Knights do not seem like they are getting their momentum back anytime soon.
I think that play right there really sums up where we're at in this game. Two pushing through. Moose is able to get one. Okay, Ziff still holding it down on the A site. They haven't given up just yet. He finds the next. Now LG down to their last two as B-Dog flips the script. The odds are even for just a second, but Ziff's had enough. He's fed up with the way that this one's been going and is trying to sprinkle some dust here on what could be the 9-3 curse as he spots out Dazzle. Doc Dart gonna get a bit of chip damage. Maybe looking for the next. Tosses it onto the backside, expecting Ziff. Again, kind of reading him here as the paint shells go over the top. 69 HP is separating Knights from their third round. And at 69 HP is sitting here in the very capable hands of Dazzle. He's got 40 seconds in the spike in hand.
Yeah, teleporter's the obvious play, and that's what he goes for. Just as I say, LG are reading them. Ziff comes in, just nails them all. They get a little cocky, I think, on that A hit this time. And don't cover the angles they need to. It's Dazzle with only the drone available, so you gotta just use your firepower, use that Vandal.
Both of them swinging here. Dazzle gonna find the first spots ahead of the next. Here comes the Viper's Pit. We've seen some crazy stuff with this, but can Scuba get it done? Yes, he can, up close and personal. He'll find the frag. It took everything in the toolbox, but Knights get it done. They hang on. And now their fate here in Week 12 relies on a 9-3 curse as they mount their attack.
Oh, man. They are just hoping for history to repeat itself here. And it well might, but just one round isn't going to do it, and a really close one at that. They almost let that clutch come through. Great attempt there by Dazzle. But yeah, Ziff had a very, very nice push this time on the sort of the retake, and it wasn't even a retake. LG were a little bit, kind of smelling the flowers on the way as they went to plant that spike. Didn't really, they were basically relied too much on the Cosmic Divide. Ziff just walks right out. He's already passed. Just walks out as they come in. They can't hide behind it.
Well,
and there you go.
A most important round right here. This pistol could be everything for the Knights. They need to start to get some momentum behind them. Nice and early. Tig tries to creep into that cubby. Inside A short. Gets spotted out, fortunately, by Ban. It's going to back him away for now. On top of the box, though. B-Dog just waits. He tries to pounce. He tries to get something done, but he can't. Instead, Ban takes a close quarters fight with Tig, and it's the shorty that comes out on top as the Ghost. You hear them ringing, but they won't land true.
What?
This is the Knights we needed to see. They completely pick LG apart. Now the last two remaining are split across the map. One inside Showers, make it none. Inside Showers is Moose. 1v5, only a classic. It's a flawless pistol for the Knights, and here we go. We might just have ourselves a game once more.
That's how it starts. That's how Knights start it. Going for the joust. They really, really want this at this point. We mentioned Knights' spot on the leaderboard before. They are third place in that contention for champs. So if they want to start getting themselves, you know, in a really good position to overtake Radiance, to get even close to a crew who are miles ahead of everybody on that leaderboard, this is where it needs to start, and it would be such a statement. The way Knights started off this series and the way they want to start off this half. It could be a huge statement for them.
Oh, baby. The death ball strategy. They've got the stack here on the A site. They do quite a bit of damage. And there's a couple of weapons. Unfortunately, there's nobody here to stop Mata from picking up one of those. The Spectre picked up, Guiding Light can find the flash, but he's forced to back away. Needs to reload, and instead will find an upgrade for the Bulldog. Unfortunately, you cannot say the same for Moose. He's still sitting on this classic that we saw him have in the last round. Okay, nice upgrade to the Sheriff. Somehow, LG have made this one look doable.
Mata's sitting on the spike. And yeah, what do Knights even do to approach this? That spike is in no man's land, and Frosty with the walkout. Scuba now in an almost impossible situation, which is not what we expected whatsoever. Yeah, he's kind of stuck saving.
Oh man, that is a tough pill to swallow. Especially when Mata's been having the game that he's been having, and he's the guy to defend the spike. This is where Knights are supposed to get their way back in. This is the epitome of the caster curse. The spike has been picked up, but the thrifty round will find its way on through the cracks. It's LG first to double digits. Looking across that finish line, 10-4 the scoreline.
My first Nerd Street broadcast, Tanner, and I already apply a massive caster curse.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say, folks, except I'm sorry.
It'd be like that.
And I will try to change. But LG, they don't want anything to change in this series. 10-4 here. And yeah, you know, their Knights have shown some really impressive stuff, and I think we are going to see in the future, when we see more LG, I think we're going to see that Knights deserve to be praised for the fight they put up. But as it stands now, just with the info we're getting in this series, Knights seem to have lost their mojo here on Bind. And, you know, just credit to LG for taking advantage.
Yeah, you can't count for the unaccountables. Like a stack just outside Showers. That, quite honestly, is a gamble in about every single way. And, well, as we're saying this, the Knights have somehow turned this one around. I know classic in the hands of one. Scuba going to be wielding this Spectre. Already doing some damage on the site on the Spike is Planet. So at the very least, it's extra credits for Knights going into the next round as Tig goes on the hunt. Expecting somebody from the flank, but all three are on site. And Dazzle's found one, or all four, I should say, excuse me, on the site as Dazzle finds the first. Now the odds are even, and the health bars are low. Vulnerability onto Ban as he sneaks away. He's going to get revealed by the recon bolt. He picks up one on his way out, but it doesn't matter. LG secure the round. It looked scary for a second. It wasn't scary enough, and it's the 11th way of LG.
You can get really closed in on Bind B site. You can get the post plant can feel so claustrophobic because of all the different ways that you can enter the site, and all those sort of exposed little corners. You can sit behind them. If it gets checked, though, you're barely ever good for more than one kill because of the nature of the site. So LG just take advantage of that, swarming those positions, and Knights continue to get onto the back foot. Ziff has made, a good name for himself in this game, has definitely done some serious damage, but now it's Knights. We talked about LG not having the coordination that they needed. Maybe it was just they needed to shake it off with a map or two, right? They are the ones now who are kind of getting in the way of Knights' coordination. They are making Knights look like they're all kind of playing their own game.
Yeah, I mean, at the start of the broadcast, you had even said it, right? Our expectations, 2-1 for LG because Ascent is a really strong map for Knights. Yeah. There is still a way back into this one, but it's a very long and a very uphill road for this attacking side. That spike just now being picked up by Frosty and starts to creep over towards that A site, or that B site, excuse me. The A site, I mean, it's completely unanswered, right? You've got the defenders already pushing through, so unless somebody snuck through showers, you're expecting everything to be this way onto B. And I mean, Dazzle, somebody check his computer, because he just seems to land the Hunter's Fury every time. He picks up the kill onto Van. Zip's able to trade one back as Frosty has crept out onto the site. I mean, the bodies, they just start to drop. Dazzle having himself around and looking to strip away all hope from the Knights. There's 45 HP of hope, and unfortunately, that's stripped away as well. It's LG to map and series point.
A couple of nice kills from Scuba, but yeah, they are floundering here. You know, it's LG just turning up the heat. They are dominating right now. And yeah, I mean, Knights need to play together. They I kind of had a little bit more hopes for them on Bind, because it is a place that you can really, you know, use maybe those double duelists, or use that use some aggressive strategies on the defense. Knights just didn't find it at all.
And that pistol round, there was so much hope. I thought there was so much coming into that one,
Yeah,
but
I know.
the gamble
Yeah.
stack, it worked perfectly for LG. That 50-50 finally started to go their way, which on Ascent, 50-50s were not going their way. Now everybody's stacked up behind the toxic screen. Now the Viper's pit. They can find the first. That would be in Zip, who's been a catalyst for this squad. No way. Dazzle does it again. Finds Ban, who's looking to creep around this U-Haul area. And just like that, the numbers cut down to 3. Make it 2.5 as Frosty creeps around the corner. The spray won't land. B-Dog can be up close and personal. Jumps around with the shorty. But Frosty, excuse me, still able to find one. The shorty gets a bit of value, and that spike yet to be planted. Now, do you have the information on everybody on Knights? Do you risk jumping through this teleporter? Are you expecting all 4 to be here? Obviously, we've got that hindsight. We see this guy waiting in the wings. Smata going to be hanging out, waiting for that TP play. Meanwhile, the health bars just get chipped away. And then let's Pit go down, and Gangsta just standing in the middle of nowhere. As B-Dog close us out, LG will send Knights packing and move forward to the semifinal.
LG, yeah, at the end, they just sort of kind of stopped playing around, right? Like, it just felt so dominant. And when it was feeling so competitive, even in the other 2 maps, even in the 13 and 7, it just felt back and forth for a lot of the time. Icebox even more so. Bind, it looked like it would look like we transported to a different series, man. Like, it was so good from LG, and Knights just had no answer at all.
Yeah, no answer. Lost a little bit of steam there. But again, LG, they came up to kind of, I guess, when you look at these teams that don't necessarily play in these tournaments until it's last chance qualifiers or regionals or something of the sort, the expectation is so high because they usually do well, right? Whether it be the X sets, the NRGs, whatever it may be, when they show up in these weekly qualifiers, they usually win them out. So when you see a name like LG, no matter who's on that team, you're expecting the same thing. So I think if you're LG, this right here, you're just on to the next. You're not really cheering too heavy about this one, because there is still work to be done, and you are still the favorites throughout the tournament. And I think there's a big possibility. We haven't really talked about some of the off-stream action. Fortunately for Knights Academy came out on top of Bait Academy 2-0, so they're already in the semifinals. But this next matchup for LG, it doesn't get any easier. Knights was already a difficult opponent. They take them down 2-1. They're delivered their first loss ever in Winter Champs. And now they're looking at either Radiance or Renegades, who are in their map 3. Radiance and Renegades, both formidable names, especially in these tournaments specifically. So I think from this one, as we take a peek at these highlights, if you're LG, I definitely think there's still more work to be done and some things to tighten up.
Yeah, you know, and LG's just collecting heads right now. They've taken out the 3rd place ranked team on the leaderboard. Now they have to move on. If Radiance win, they have to move on to take out the 2nd. So it's just going to be a hell of a run for Luminosity if they manage to find that. But even taking out Radiance taking out Knights and taking them out so decisively in the 3rd map, I love what I'm seeing. And these guys are all really experienced, Tanner. They've got a lot of competitive experience, even though the lineup is new. And so that's probably what it took, right? If you are an optimist for the LG side, you look at that first map and you just say, they needed to get back into the swing of things, because once they get sort of back into the zone of playing competitive play, they know how to work together. They know how to make these teamwork plays. They know how to play organized competitive Valorant, and we're about to see even more, right, as we get into these semifinals.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how it gets done. It just matter that it gets done, especially for a situation like this. And like I said, I'm glad that you're loving what we're seeing from LG, because I believe we're going to be staying on a board with them. We will be catching up with them against that Radiance or Renegades matchup. I'm not too sure which one we are going to get next. But as you guys know, we've got a long day ahead of us. This is just the conclusion of the quarterfinals. We still have semis and grands. And with that, you guys might need some extra energy. And I know somebody who can help you out with that. It's one of our friends over at Mike and Ike. We want you guys to take your candy game to the next level with a pack of Mike and Ike Original Fruits or Mike and Ike Mega Mix. The delicious, fruity, chewy flavors will help fuel your game and power you keep playing at your best, or to stay up with us. So please do power up with Mike and Ike, guys. Go grab yourself a box, go grab yourself a snack, a drink, whatever it may be. Hop back into your Mavix chair, because if you don't have one, you're wrong. And we'll catch you guys after this short break to jump into the semifinals.